Welcome to Crafts at Home with Colleen. Today we're making bath salts, which are really a very simple gift to make if you're going out to a friend for a birthday or perhaps maybe even dinner party, or you just feel like having a jolly good old soak yourself. So the few ingredients that you're going to use is that you could use either normal table salt, which is nice and fine, or you could use coarse salt, which is also known as kosher salt in some places. It is quite a lot drier than the normal coarse salt, the kosher salt, so it's actually quite nice. You can combine the two together, or you could use these on their own. So what I've got in my bowl, because I'm going to use both the normal table salt and the coarse salt, is I've got 1 cup each of those. Then we're going to use Epsom salts. And for those of you who don't know it, it's something that you do find in your grocery stores, Epsom salts. And the Epsom salts themselves are rather magical because they've got this lovely shine to them. And Epsom salts are known for drawing out lactic acids out of your muscles. So if you've been running and you actually have very sore, stiff muscles afterwards, it's quite nice to be able to put Epsom salts into a container. So to begin with, I'm just going to scoop this out and add that to my mixture. And then the last thing that we're going to be adding is bicarbonate of soda, which is also found in your baking aisle. And this is very soft and powdery, and this just adds a little bit of fizz into your mixture. So you can see that just with the few ingredients that we've got, that we've actually got rather a large amount of bath salts that we're going to be making. Let me just move the lavender for now. And we're going to just gently mix this up with our spoon. It doesn't take an awful lot of time to actually do this. You want to mix these ingredients together first before you start adding any color or any fragrance. The colors and the fragrances are always in liquid form, and if you add them onto the bicarb, it's just simply going to make it fizz. So it is a good idea to get the bicarb mixed in with the other ingredients. The Epsom salts won't fizz, and the salt itself won't fizz. So just make sure that you've got them nicely blended. I'm going to use just a little aromatherapy oil, and this will very much depend on your personal taste as to how much you want to add. But I've got quite a lot of salt here, so I'm just going to be mixing in this into the fragrances. Remember that if you add color into your bath salts, that the color is not going to stain your skin because you're actually diluting it in water. Just as if you mixed food coloring into your cake, it doesn't stain your fingers when you cut the cake, and it doesn't stain your tummies either. Okay, I personally don't like adding too much color unless I'm making something for the kids. And at that stage, if you are making it for the kids, you could put a little bit of glitter in if you wanted to, just for fun. But I do like to add some natural ingredients into my bath salts when I'm making them. They just make them more interesting, and they're really beautiful. So a few of the obvious things come to mind are dried rose petals. If you have been given a nice bunch of roses, especially the ones that have dark colors, these dry very well if you just pull the petals off and leave them just exposed to the air. These are a very fragrant flower that we get here called freesias, and they've got this lovely yellow color which goes really nicely. There are also things like citrus. You could use orange, grated orange, or lemon zest. You just use lavender. So if you are fortunate to have lavender in your garden, simply take your lavender stems and start pulling off all the little flowers from the top of the stems. You don't really want the stem in your bath salts because that is a bit hard. You can break up some of the leaves just by pinching them with your fingers. Those will be nice. But the flowers are particularly beautiful, and then when you put them into a jar or a packet to present them to somebody, I'm just going to... Right, so that doesn't take long at all. You're just going to then mix these up with your bath salts. And really, I can recommend having this even as a foot soak. I had a shop for more than 23 years, and because I was on my feet a lot, I used to come home at night and find that my legs were so tired. I'd make myself a little foot soak with this, and it was great just to ease that stiffness away. So the last thing that needs to be done now is just to simply decant your bath salts into a pretty container. You could either use a glass jar, or you could actually put it into a little packet and tie it with a nice ribbon. But you just want to fill this up nicely, and then tie a little bit of ribbon around with a note for your friend, or if it is for yourself, store it away until you feel like having a nice spoil. And because these ingredients are so readily available in your kitchen cupboard or at your supermarket, and they aren't expensive ingredients, it is something that you could actually make for yourself quite often. Right, so my jar is nearly filled, and what I'm going to do now is just simply put a little bit of the lavender on the top so that it looks really pretty for the person when they come to open it. Maybe a little sprig like that, and a couple of little leaves. And this will store nicely in an airtight container. If you've added food coloring into your bath salts, you could either use cake food coloring or the baker's food coloring. Just please make sure that when you do it, if your mixture does get a bit wet, if you add too much coloring in, just dry it out before you store it. And just the last bit of bath salts that we have here, I'm going to scoop into this some of the peel that I have from my oranges and my lemons, which I grated earlier. You'll see that it gives a really nice vibrant color, and because they've been freshly grated, some of the sort of yellowy orange color leaches out, and you can see already that that would give a very different texture to what we did with the lavender. Have fun.